we're having a heat wave here. It's a balmy 40 degrees, which is way different than what it used to be. So, a lot of stuff has been going on with this child trafficking stuff. This Johnny Dub now wants to identify himself as Officer Brian. The dude is just an idiot. He emailed me the other day after this whole thing with Rob Reiner, telling me that his son, hey Susan, castrated him, and now is trying to suggest that Rob Reiner was sexually abusing his son, and that's what caused the argument. I can't say one way or the other. It is Hollywood, after all. It doesn't make any difference if it's Hollywood. All I'm saying is, my point about this whole situation is, first of all, we're going to see way more of this kind of shit, because people are starting to lose it in terrible ways. But as far as this Johnny Dub goes, if it is true that he is working with Kash Patel, and he brags about it constantly, that says two things. One, Kash Patel is as incompetent as everybody has him out to be. You know, you can take the dude out of the podcast, but you can't take the podcast out of the dude. You know, he sent me the Al Franken thing. But the other thing too is, and when it comes down to it is, if Kash Patel is working with this Johnny Dub, who I believe is Lucian Greaves, then it just reiterates the fact that Kash Patel is protecting pedophiles. If he's working with this Johnny Dub idiot, he's protecting pedophiles. This Johnny Dub is not an officer. I believe it's Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. I've thought that for a long time. For a long time. I've had to deal with this idiot. But as an officer, what? You're an officer who is trying to actually... You've spent the last year and a half, almost 2 years, attacking me, along with your buddy Thomas Schoenberger. Yeah, if you're an officer, you're just like Neil Gross. You're playing on the wrong side. You're just a criminal with the badge. But I don't believe you're an officer. They're feeding my thing full of bots again. You know? That's how this works. These are the games that they play. I hear Geo Farnsworth needs a colonoscopy bag. Imagine that. It's not me that you're fighting, assholes. It's the dark. And it's eating you from the inside out. There's nothing you can do about it either. God is bringing all of you justice. I warned you, you all start with smiles and laughing and It never lasts that. It never lasts like that. Lucian Greaves, founder of the site, Johnny Dub. He'll find out. He'll find out. You know? He'll find out. This whole pedophile ring needs to be investigated. It needs to be, these idiots need to be incarcerated. And Thomas Schoenberger right now can try and distance himself from Johnny Dub all the fuck he wants. But he was right along with Johnny Dub and that Chris McKimpsey Jones, that Australian dude, harassing the absolute shit out of me for almost 2 years. The same thing I know they did to Isaac Cappy. The same thing I know they've done to Nathan Stoltman. And God knows how many others. You know, God knows how many others. God is answering his promises. That's what's happening. And it's, you know, Yes, everyone, I'm gay. Wow. You are just amazing observation. What do you want, a trophy? A medal? A gold star for pointing out the obvious? It's just their crap is falling apart in ways that they never saw happening, and we're all getting to watch it. I think, Susan, that's the reason why you're starting to wake up and realize there has been a shift for the better. There has been a shift, and all of their shit is coming out now. It's all coming out. They can't help but have it come out. They can't help it. And thank God. Thank God. And they can fill my channel with bots all they want. Because Corey Daniel is having them mass report my channel. So now they're going to feed my channel full of bots. Their stupid shit is no reflection on me. You know, it's no reflection on me. I'm not doing it. I don't have any control over it. I have no control over them. Their crazy, stupid shit is reflective of them, not me. Just because I report it, just because I don't hide it, you know? We all have our crosses to bear, dude. We all have our crosses to bear. You're talking to someone who was gang raped as a kid that I dealt with. You're not going to actually get people to turn away from God. You know? I have a feeling that they are just inundating my channel full of garbage. You know? But I'm not in the mood today. So I'm just going to block you. You irritate me, it'll only take once. You're not even going to get a warning. This is your warning. Consider it your warning. You say stupid crap, I'm going to block you. That's how it's going to work. Because I'm so not in the mood. I'm not in the mood to deal with people who glorify and love evil and think that it's funny and think that it's entertaining. A very good friend of mine who's an artist is Muslim. She married a Muslim and then went and converted to Muslim. I have no problems. If Muslims were so violent like everyone says they are, there's a billion of them, I think we'd have a lot more problems than what we do now. And in fact, down in Australia, correct me if I'm wrong, but the dude who stopped the gunmen who were shooting all of the Jewish people the first day of Hanukkah, he was Muslim. You know? The low-level pawns are scrambling, Susan, because they know they're low-hanging fruit. They're going to be the first. If I was Corey Daniel, I would be just shitting my pants, which I think he is. Not looking to date anybody. Anyway, this child trafficking thing is getting ready to come out. Kash Patel is an idiot. The guy who stopped the gunman was Muslim. he was a Muslim. He's in the hospital because he got hit by bullets. The dude who saved all of the Jewish people on that beach was Muslim. I really would like to think that they're going to stop the trafficking stuff, but they're not. And Kash Patel is working with them. You know? Kash Patel is working with them. And the administration that is running the United States right now is so... No, they weren't Muslim. They weren't Muslim at all. The shooters weren't Muslim. How could you know that? I don't know. Maybe because I watch the news and it's been all over the news. You know? They just send these idiots in to just talk stupid shit because they think that's actually going to go. Dude, take your toxic racism bullshit and go fuck yourself. Worse than you already have. The dude in Australia who stopped those shooters was Muslim. It's an easy, type it into a search bar and it'll come up. You know? This is what we're going to see. When I told you that things are going to get worse, this evil, nasty shit, all these motherfuckers are going to start coming out of the woodwork because they're empowered now. That's what's getting ready to happen. And right now, they're so focused on me trying to prevent me from busting open their child trafficking operation, you know? And what I'm fighting is government and idiots. Sewer Town have all of their little fucking little kids in here, you know? We earned our tickets to this show, Susan. And aren't you glad you're here? Aren't you kind of glad that you get to see it? Get to see all of their shit fall down? They'll be brought to their knees. They will be brought to their knees. I am so not upset. That's Corey Daniel and his bullshit. You know? Oh, I'm upset. I'm not upset at all. I'm not even in the least. The fact that I am starting to watch all of these fucking child killers get theirs doesn't make me angry. It makes me joyful. I think that people are starting to actually, you know, what difference does it make if they converted or not? You know? The dude wasn't white. Let's just put it that way. You know? I'm just joyful that they're getting theirs. Joyful. And I'm happy that I actually get to sit and watch it. You know, I really just don't give a shit. I really don't care. I'm not going to argue whether or not someone was one religion or another religion. What the fuck difference does it make? You know? What are my thoughts on Jesus of Nazareth? Jesus Christ, the teachings of Jesus Christ are infallible. They are exactly how it works. You know? But I will say that what I find is David Shurter a Muslim? No, I'm not a Muslim. Are you an idiot? Yeah. And now they're in here actually just spouting all of their racist bullshit. You know? Because they think they're funny. They're amused. But they always do it anonymously. But now they're starting not to do it anonymously. Now they're actually doing it out in the open, in the public. And they're getting beaten down as a result. And then they want to cry victim. That's just with these child killers. They all want to cry victim. You know? Jesus Christ's teachings are infallible. You can't argue with them. You can't argue with Jesus Christ's teachings. There's no argument with it. I went into it to tear it apart. And it was in that process that I realized there was nothing to tear apart. It was infallible. We are to love God and love everyone else. Those are the two commandments Jesus Christ gave us. I do not understand the argument against either one. And don't respect it. Don't respect. If you have an argument why you don't have to or why you shouldn't love God and love everyone else, you're fucked in the head and don't realize you're fucked in the head. Flat out. There's no argument to be had. You know? I am here in faith. I am not in a bunker. Oh my God. I was in Omaha, Nebraska during 9/11, you know? 9/11 was my generation's JFK moment. I can tell you exactly where I was when I heard about the first plane. I can tell you this exactly where I was when the second plane hit. I can tell you about the whole day, who I was with, where I was. I remember it like it was yesterday. Just like when people talk about the JFK assassination, they can say exactly where they were. It's funny how trauma, you know. But these child traffickers are getting ready to be brought down. Johnny Depp is not. They are really slow. And it's a really, really, really slow bus. It's a really short bus. Tiny. But their brains are not very big. Their egos are huge. And they think that they are just the most amusing person. They just think that they are just the funniest, most amusing. These child traffickers are being brought down. They're being brought down. And the stuff is starting to come out. And there's no way to stop it. And there's too many people on top of it. And the group that I've had to deal with are already getting theirs. I laughed out loud when I found out that Gio Farnsworth I knew he was not doing well. The picture that he sent, he was not doing well. But being told that he's might have to have a colonoscopy bag, I don't feel sorry for him. He shouldn't have murdered my friend and then bragged about it. Shouldn't have done it. And I always find out shit. I always find out. Corey Daniel is upset. Corey Daniel should be upset. He and his little wife are the ones who they're going to throw under the train first. He's first in line to get thrown under the train. I believe in karma. I believe that we reap what we sow. Corey Daniel he's leader of the Dead Isaac Cappy Club. Let's just put it that way. He's leader of the Dead Isaac Cappy Club. Completely involved with the murder of Isaac Cappy. Lucian Greaves and this whole group, they were the ones who blew up that early in Iowa gas station. You know, and obviously something's wrong with it when the official report says it is shaping up to be the best Christmas ever. Do you know that 3-eye atlas now is glowing gold? They don't know why, but it's changed colors now, and now it's gold. That was so not a bottom. You know, it's funny how all of these Republican idiots are so focused. Now they're having a civil war over who's gay and who's not. Like, why does it matter? But now they're all at each other's throats. That Milo dude who comes out and says they're gay, he's the one who promotes fucking pedophiles. So they're mad that the dude who was promoting pedophilia called them all gay, you know? But obviously there's a gay issue when they all get their conventions, Grindr goes down, you know, because they have so many people on Grindr. That says something. That doesn't happen during the Democratic shit, you know? It just doesn't. I'm just saying, not that it should make any difference, but they're focused on the stupidest shit. They're focused on who's gay, and yet most of us are focused on we can't afford groceries, and most of us are going to lose health care. But they're focused on who's gay, you know? It's just ridiculously stupid. It's sad. And that's our leadership, you know? I am in a bunker, buried in a bunker, miles and miles and miles underground. I just don't get it, you know? And the hate and vitriol that comes from the people who are in charge right now, you know? You did not just pay the lowest in groceries. What are you, 12? Did you buy a loaf of bread? People can see for themselves, you know? I'm in an undisclosed location, underground, you know? It is. It's all gay and who's not. They're all fighting about it. Nick Fuentes, and some of the people I don't even know. Now they're saying Charlie Kirk was gay, you know? I'm not hiding from shit. That's just it. What are they hiding from? Just be who you are, you know? I'm so not in a bunker. I wish I had a bunker. War is coming. War is coming. You know? The world was already teetering on the edge, and they were completely dependent upon the American economy, which statistically, with Biden, was the envy of the rest of the world. Now our economy is shit. It has fallen down. China is going bankrupt. Russia is going bankrupt. The entire world is going bankrupt. This has happened twice. Guess what happened after each time? World War I and World War II. Death is coming. We're already at war, you know? And this whole Venezuela thing, blowing up these boats that they think is just so cool, I don't think it's going to work well for us. You know? I don't think it's going to work well for us. And I don't think it's going to work well for them. Because when people start starving and all of that, they're going to drag those motherfuckers out of their homes and tear them apart. That's what happened. Look at what they did to Mussolini. Look at what they did to the leaders. Look at what they've done historically to all the leaders. You know? We get to witness the fall of Babylon. We are in the days of Noah, only this time it's coming with fire, not with water. Everything is going to be burned clean. Just like we were told. Just like we were told. You know? And that's the reason why I think a lot of people want to actually deny Jesus Christ. I'm not saying that the church is great. I'm not a church person. I don't thump people with the Bible. But the teachings of Jesus Christ are infallible. Jesus Christ, as trite as it may sound, is the way. Flat out. And anybody who denies it is either ignorant or ignorant. You know? Love God, love everyone else. Don't understand the argument between either one. Don't gotta love God, don't gotta love everyone else. Fine. Enjoy the fucking dark. You know? That's just it. You don't need the church to follow the word. But filling your heart with hate and then making justifications as to why it's okay, you're just bullshitting yourself. You're going to end up, you're going to be sad. You know? You're going to be sad. And I don't think, I mean, this might come as a shocker, but I don't think you need to be Christian to be able to fill your heart with love. You know? Again, love God, love everyone else. You can argue the details all you want. You know that the story of Jesus Christ isn't even original, right? There was another story that predates that that's the same story. You know? But I'm not going to get into an argument. If you don't want to love God and love everyone else, then don't. But when you end up in the dark, you only have yourself to blame. You know? And so, I don't know what you want. I just don't know what you're looking for. You know? And it's not anybody's job to convince you to do what we were commanded to do. Love God, love everyone else. Nobody else is responsible for all of your shit. You will be in the dark then, because that's the problem. There's a lot of motherfuckers who are just anxious to be in that dark. You ain't gonna like it. You're gonna whine like a little bitch. You're all gonna whine like little, everyone who ends up in the dark is gonna whine like a little bitch for the rest of eternity. And that's just the way it goes. So with that said, I'm going to pray. You know, you don't have to be involved. You can, if your heart is filled with love and you're loving people, chances are you love a higher power as well. But you don't need all of the hoopla. I don't go to church, especially where I live in small town Iowa. And why? Because I find that those who call themselves Christian, who are standing on rooftops screaming how Christian they are usually the most hateful, vile people who feel superior to everyone else. There's no empathy. and there's no humility. And both are required. That's how I feel. So I don't go to church, you know? Because when I go to church, it's hard to love God because I can't stand the people, you know? God isn't to stop death. There's no stopping death on this side, dumbass. But on the other side, there is no death, you know? I'm going to pray. It is easier to love God in a forest than in a church. Amen to that. Amen to that. People around here, the nastiest motherfuckers around here are the ones who will tell you constantly how they're about to be raptured any moment in time. You know? There are some churches, I'm sure, there's exceptions to every rule. You know? I didn't say that all Christians were vile. I'm saying that there's a lot of people, you know. I'm going to pray and I'm going to get off here because it's filled with idiots. Not everyone, but, you know. If your brain is going to explode because someone swears, then you obviously don't live in the same world that I do. Because I hear people swear all the time. You know? Clutch those pearls. Wring those hands. Lament over your misfortune. But when you're finished, peel yourself off of your crucifix because someone else probably needs the wood. Just saying. Heaven, I come to you. This has been an exasperating live. There's some wonderful people on here. There are other people on here who are just, you can't argue with them. They're being led into the dark. We're in judgment. And those who are being led into the dark are deluded and have no clue that they're being led into the dark. And that's on them. It's not our jobs to save souls. That's your son, Jesus Christ's job. Our jobs are to live and try and be an example for other people. Try our hardest every day to love you, love God, love everyone else. Fill our hearts with grace. This is a rough time of year. Evil is all around, and it's just getting worse. And just keep us strong. Keep us strong in faith in the Word. Help us to be sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. And we say these things in your Son, our brother's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. Susan, have a great day. I'm not going to argue about my teeth. If that's all you have, you know, we're all children of God. He was God's child. That's why I call him our brother. You know? If we're all children of God, and he was a child of God, son of God, doesn't that make him our brother? But argue semantics all you want. These child traffickers need to be brought down. That's what I'm going to end with. This Johnny Dub idiot, if he's working with Kash Patel, it just shows that Kash Patel is indeed protecting pedophiles, which everyone can see anyway when you look at the whole Jeffrey Epstein mess and the files. You can see it. It's so obvious and in everyone's face, but they want you to be told the whole thing about it is that I followed heaven and the word. So, Jesus Christ is what saved me. But I'm not going to put a label on myself, because people who put labels think that they're better than everyone else, and I just don't care. I'm not poisoning minds, and I think that people are intelligent enough to figure out what is and what isn't, and don't need your dumbass to dictate to them what they should and should not hear. Just saying. I'm neither. I'm a shamanic. I deal more with shamanism. I'm neither a Zionist nor an evangelical, and I find that life is not black and white. I think that there are all kinds of shades of gray. More than that, I think there's every color. It's not just gray, it's colors, you know? We're in a rough time. We're in the time of sorrows, and we're all going to have to keep each other strong. In the word. What is the word? Love God, love everyone else. That's the word. Those are the two basic commandments for the word. No, I wasn't on To Catch a Predator. However, the dark has a bunch of fucking predators by the fucking short and curlies. And that is, a lot of it is because of me. I'm not a predator's friend. And the dark is their master. And in the end, they will bow down. They're not in control. So anybody who wants to donate or contribute, that would be great. The links are in the description. I have Rabbit Hole. I don't have a copy of it right now. And I need to print off a copy that's mirror image. Because every time I post it, it's backwards. So I want to deal with that. My blog, davidshurter.com. You can go read the decades that I have been at trying to bust out this pedophile ring. Who are the pedophiles? Who are the pedophiles I'm trying to expose? Michael Aquino, Thomas Schoenberger, Gabe Hoffman, Doug Masico, a.k.a. Doug Mesner, a.k.a. Johnny Dubb, a.k.a. Jonathan Kilrush, a.k.a. Brian Word, a.k.a. Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. Then you have the Dead Isaac Happy Club, which is basically Sewer Town. Corey Daniel, a.k.a. Phoenix Enigma, Alicia Ray, a.k.a. the Sicilian Witch, Jesse Davis, Manny Chavez, whatever, a.k.a. DeFango. Daniel Dowd, a.k.a. Pootie Twing, a.k.a. American Witchcraft, a.k.a. what the fuck ever. Geo Farnsworth, not his real last name, a.k.a. Baba Yaga, a.k.a. Mr. Colostomy Bag. Tara Joyce, Craig Sawyer, not to forget my child-killing stepmother who's working right along with them, Joanne C. Shurter. Bunch of child traffickers that need to be investigated. They definitely need to be arrested, and they need to be incarcerated. But Kash Patel is protecting them. Johnny Dubb sends me shit. Fuck, he has already sent me 5 emails today bragging about it. You know? This is connected. These are the worker bees connected. This is all government. Michael Aquino, CIA. I believe Gabe Hoffman, CIA. Thomas Schoenberger, CIA. Lucian Greaves was called out by his co-founder for the Satanic Temple, Shane Bugbee, working with the CIA. Johnny Depp wanted to be the poster child for all things devil lover. So now he is. I'm not on meth, dumbass. Don't look like I'm on dumbass. Do I have the fucking Skeletor look? In fact, just the opposite, motherfucker. You lose all the fat in your face when you're on meth. Does it look like I've lost all the fat in my face? You know? They do. They think they are gods. So God is going to let them, each one of them, individually, will be able to combat the darkness and fight the darkness. If they win, then they're gods, and they get whatever, they get what gods get. But if they're not gods, and they can't beat the dark, they're fucked. And it's the latter that's the truth. Not the delusional crap that they tell themselves about how powerful they are. God is about ready to deal with them. And after an eternity in the dark, they will get what they so are lacking right now. Fear of God. Because anyone who has any amount of brains realizes you should definitely be afraid, or at least be aware that there's consequences for being disobedient. We're called to love God and love everyone else. And if you can't do that, you're going to end up in the dark. Just like you were told. Just like we've all been told. That's how it's going to work. You have any question about what you should be doing? Go read the Gospels of Jesus Christ. Dude, eventually you're going to take your last breath. But I know you're a little god. So after you take your last breath, you're just going to be able to command the universe to where you're going to end up. These people are so ignorant and just don't realize how ignorant they are. And the only ones they're going to end up hurting is themselves. And the only one who believes that they're superior and untouchable and are all that and a bag of chips and a piece of fruit are them. No one else believes it. Nobody even really likes them. That's their issue. Nobody really likes them. The people who are unlikable like them, but nobody who's actually who's a decent individual wants anything to do with them. That's how it works. And they can bitch and cry about it all they want. You know? Well, consciousness allows us to love, sacrifice, and suffer for meaning beyond ourselves. Why do we value purpose over survival in an unforgiving universe that only optimizes? The whole thing about it is that this life is directly influenced for the other. This life really, in the end, doesn't make any difference at all. And yet, for each one of us personally, it makes all the difference in the world. Because it's our choices in this life. And it sucks, but the closer you get to the path of Jesus Christ, the worse everything gets. The tests get harder, the attacks get more extreme. That's how it works. We are to be tested by fire. If you're not being tested, if the devil doesn't want anything to do with you, you're already lost. That's how it works. The dark already has you, you know? The whole thing about it is that our lives, all I worry about is that I'm obedient. I love God. I love everyone else. I do these because I love everyone. Yes, it seems like I'm mad at the pedophiles, and I am mad at the pedophiles. I can't stand the child killers. But I do these because I care about people. I care about people. I don't know any of you, and yet I still care about you. You know? When I go out and about, that's why people like me, because I care about people. You know? It's Christmas. Do yourselves a favor. Open the door for someone and smile at them. You know? Tell them to have a blessed day. Just be nice. Instead of being a dick and wanting everyone to cower around you, try to lift people up. You know? And I am not the same person on these lives when I'm talking about child killers than when I'm out and about dealing in the real world with just normal people. Because that's not on my thought. In here, with these lives, yeah, because I have to come in, I come in here and talk about that stuff. But otherwise, you know, if you see a homeless person out there and you don't want to give them money, go buy a sandwich and give it to them. Go out of your way to brighten someone's day. A stranger, you know? Do something that inspires people. I'm not from Sweden. But from what I understand, I love Sweden. It has perfect weather. It's cold there. I like cold. There is a weird in the time of year where everyone's locked inside. There's a vomiting thing that's out there right now. Makes people vomit over and over and over. Not to mention measles is back. You know, imagine that. Maybe everyone will start taking ivermectin for measles too. You know, I'm sorry that you're stuck in bed being sick. You know, it's just, I'm Swedish. I would love to go. It's either Sweden or Finland or Norway. You guys have like the happiest, you're the happiest country. Of all the ratings that they've had, you guys end up being happy. I think it would be fun. I just, you know, but I don't think, unfortunately, my life is here in the middle of Trump world, you know? Northern Maine. I loved Maine, though. Maine is really pretty. Scandinavia. I have a hat that I wear all the time for winter. It's kind of Scandinavian. I'm not Scandinavian, I'm Irish and German. But I would love. I think it would be fun going to those countries, but then I like cold weather. Today it's 40 degrees and it's balmy. Winter is the best season. I like winter the best. Winter is my favorite. I'm in my favorite season right now. I don't like ice, but I love snow. Don't mind slush. Maine is very similar to Sweden, actually. I loved Maine. I've only been there once. I so could live in Maine. Even though, from what I understand, when you guys get snow, you get dumped on. When Maine gets snow, you guys get a lot of snow. But I would be okay with that. I actually went to Prairie Rose State Park today and saw the fish. The people. I almost walked out onto the lake because there are people fishing out on that lake. And I wanted to go walk out onto the lake and then look back because I've never been on the lake before. Yeah, that heavy snow is awful to shovel. It's awful, and the older I get, I just ugh. Anyway, oh man, I can I feel your pain, dude. I did not break my collarbone, but when I was 19, I had a bicycle accident. I came off of a curb, and someone had pulled the metal grate off out of the storm ditch. So my tire went into it. Had I been but a couple inches, I would have died because I would have broke my neck. I would have fallen on my head and broke my neck. But as it was, I fell on my shoulder and I ripped every ligament and tendon off my collarbone. And my collarbone shot up out of my shoulder. And I ended up having to go have surgery to retach it. And so I understand your pain. I was in a sling and couldn't walk through Walmart because people don't realize when you walk and you bounce, it affects every part of your body. And for the longest time, I couldn't walk because my collarbone, my shoulder hurt so bad. But that was when I was 19. I'm now 59. I just turned 59 a week ago. And so you feel every step. It will get better. Well, depending on how old you are. I mean, I was 19. I'm not lying. Why would I lie about something so stupid? You know? I'm going to get off here because the morons are back. And I have things I have to do. It's 2 in the afternoon, 2:15, and I have stuff that I have to get done. But I will be back in here on Thursday. If you guys want to donate, I'd love it. I groceries are not cheap. Groceries are not cheap. My clock is a bit fast. Well, it can't be. Oh, okay. If it's 3 o'clock there, because it's 2 o'clock here. Well, it's 2:15. So it has to be 3:15 there. It's not 3 o'clock, and it's 2:15 where I'm at. We're about the same time. But I hope you feel better. I hope your shoulder feels better. I do not envy that. It is my divine time. Every hour on the hour. It and the batteries are dead. So I bought new batteries for it. I'm in the Midwest. I'm in the Midwest. It's 12:18 where you're at. So you're in California. I'm right outside of Omaha, Nebraska, which is basically where I grew up. I do mean in the States. Unfortunately, I am stuck in this mental ward. That's what it feels like to be in the United States right now. Not everyone, and to be quite honest, it's bringing out. That's okay that you don't. You're from Germany. I'm not used to the state's geography because I'm not used. I watch this German guy on TikTok who makes fun of Americans that they talk and all of that, and um, he's hilarious. But I learned so much about Europe because he talks about Europe because it's always Americans who don't know shit about Europe, and they think that the UK is everything. A lot of people here think all of Europe is the UK. And so I've learned so much from Europe about Europe. I would love to go. I mean, I'm not well traveled. I'm too poor. I've always been poor all my life. I've been to Canada. Woo woo. You know? India is in Africa. I would love to go to Germany. My father was from Germany. I have bad background in Germany, but that's not indicative or reflective on me. I'm considered the black sheep of my family because I ended up not being a child killer. I kid you not. You know, I uh, I would love to go to Europe. I would love to go to Scandinavia. I would love to go to Ireland. I always want to gravitate up where it's cold. You know, I would be afraid of the Autobahn. I drive like a grandma here. I drive like a just an old person. I drive the speed limit, 55. I go a little bit over 55. The Autobahn scares me because you guys drive like crazy, crazy, crazy fast. And it would be fun. It would be fun to be in a car with someone who knew what they were doing. It would not be fun for me to drive 100 plus miles an hour. But if I was in a car with someone who was used to it and knew how to do it, it would be fun to be in that. I just really do think that it would be fun. It would not be fun for me to drive that way. I'd be, you know, yeah. All right, guys, I hate to do this because now it's getting fun, but this has been a lot. This has been a mixed bag this time. Bunch of idiots, but some of you guys are just super cool. You just make it so worth coming on here. I just go out and do something nice for someone. Try to be an inspiration for someone. You know, just try to be nice to someone. Make their day a little brighter for having run into you today. Make that your goal. Make that your goal every day. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. You know, love God, love everyone else. And if you have any questions, go refer back to the teachings of Jesus Christ. If you don't want to read, go listen to Godspell. Go watch Godspell. It's a musical based on the book of Matthew. It's an amazing. It's kind of dated because it's 70s. It was done in the 70s. But and you really believing in God and loving God is just loving life. You know? Because God isn't some little dude sitting up in heaven like the church has made him out to be. God is it's so much more. Love life, love everyone else. The whole key is to love. That's the whole key. You know? Just love. And thank you. It's been wonderful to have you guys in here. Please like and subscribe. Karma always comes back. We reap what we sow. You know? If you're doing a lot of evil shit, chances are you're a nasty, nasty, bitter person. People who are actually out there trying to love as much as they can and be an inspiration to people rarely are nasty, bitter people. It's hard to love and be nasty and bitter at the same time. is almost impossible. And so, I mean, I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying it's almost impossible because we all have our moments. But thanks, guys. This has been great, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a really blessed week. Go do something that inspires someone around you, preferably a stranger. But if you can do it for someone in your own life too, just try.